After months of learning or working from home, are there now just random piles of stuff all over your table or your desk? Well, home organizer Megan Arthur is going to join us this morning with tips on how to clear out all that paper clutter. And I am hugely guilty of this because I clean up things by just putting another piece of paper just somewhere else, and I'll deal with that later, and I shouldn't.
Hi, Annette. Good morning. You're not alone. Paper pileup is really challenging, especially during this time, but I have some systems for you here to help you with that. So let's talk about paper pileup first. It's easy to let them pile up in our home office, so we really want to use the system of threes to sort them, and that's putting each individual piece of paper in one of three piles: shred, file, or take action. We know the shred pile, that's easy. We don't need those papers anymore. We can get rid of them. The file papers are for important documents we need to keep, and I always say invest in a color coding filing system. Color coding is not just for children, it's great for adults too. It keeps you accountable for putting papers away in their home and easy and quick to retrieve them as well. And the final tip and the final pile is take action. So these are the papers that we are doing something with, maybe making a phone call, paying a bill, adding something to our schedule. And once we're done with those to-do list papers, we can shred them and file them as well.
Okay, and then it's all the other doodads that you've got hanging around. We've got pens, we've got staplers, all kinds of things, right? Organizing them.
Exactly. So it's good that we know where they live, first of all. Everything in the house should have a home, and we want to sort like items together. For example, pens and pencils in containers. Small little containers or bins are great for staples or Post-it notes or binder clips. Medium-sized containers are great for a stapler, scissors, tape. And then bulkier items like printer paper, binders, file folders are good for a larger item like a basket. If you are on a budget, you don't need to feel pressure to go out and buy these containers. You can find things around your house that function the exact same way. A mason jar is great for storing pens or pencils, or an old jewelry box also works great, either the base or the lid, for storing small items like paper clips.
That's a great idea. And utilizing wall space is another clever trip.
Absolutely. So you want to take a look at the vertical space around you and see if there's an opportunity to hang anything. It might be file folders, a whiteboard, a chalkboard. I personally love dry erase calendars. I find it really easy to schedule in my meetings when I just look up at the wall and I see what I have on the go. We know real estate is really precious, and if you are working in a small space during this time, you want to optimize that storage space, so going vertical is a great alternative.
Okay, and then stopping the clutter that's kind of coming into your house through the mail. I know that's, in our house, it either goes on the table at the front door or it ends up on the kitchen table where it sits for several days.
A mail station is a great idea for controlling the paper coming in and out of the house. So you want to have a spot for incoming, outgoing, and mail to file. So every time you enter your house and you have documents or papers in your hand, you just pop them in the mail station. And then once or twice a week, you go through the mail, you go through the bills. Maybe you have to go to the post office, you file your papers. That way it's all contained in one spot. Like you said, Annette, we don't want papers scattered around the house or on the kitchen countertops. It just creates more clutter and chaos in our lives. You can actually buy little mail stations like this, or you could use a letter tray or a magazine holder is a great solution as well.
Okay, and then your final tip, and I really like this one, is find something of beauty and put it in your space.
Yes, it sounds counterintuitive. I'm telling you to clear your space, and now I'm saying bring objects in. But when you're surrounded by objects that you love and bring you joy, you're much more likely to keep that space neat and tidy for a very long period of time. So it could be something like a candle, a picture frame of you and your family. I love fresh flowers or a plant that I can take care of. It's the small things that we can do for ourselves and in our environment during this time that makes the largest impact.
Right. And I can imagine having something beautiful kind of encourages you to keep things clean, right?
Absolutely. It keeps the motivation high. It increases your efficiency levels, and it really just makes you happy and smile. So that's important.
Okay, I'm motivated now to clear the clutter off my kitchen table tonight. Thank you, Megan, for doing that. We'll get the link up to your website at chch.com. Great to meet you.
Thank you so much for having me, Annette.